Microsoft Office has long been regarded as the industry standard for document editing, spreadsheet analysis, and the creation of presentations. But it has a problem. If you are a Linux user, then you just cannot use it. While Office alternatives for Linux do exist, the sheer amount of choices and differences in their compatibility with Microsoft's formats often make it kind of hard to determine which Office suite is the best. So in today's video, we are going to take a look at the most popular Office suites that are compatible with Linux, categorized into fully open source solutions, proprietary but supported ones, and of course multi-user editing and cloud support. Let's get into it. This video was made possible by channel members of our community. If you want to participate in selecting new video topics, see what's going on behind the scenes, and gain access to various tips and tricks, then please make sure to check out the join button or the link in the video description down below. Our first contender is of course LibreOffice, the leading open source Office suite. Available for Windows, macOS and Linux, LibreOffice consists of 6 applications for word processing, spreadsheets and presentations, but also tools for creating diagrams like Microsoft Visio, managing databases and composing more complex mathematical formulas. When loading it up, you can choose between 2 major user interface options. A traditional toolbar that has all of its options tucked away behind drop-down menus, or a tabbed view, which more closely mimics the look of Microsoft Office and is often considered to be more user-friendly to beginners. In terms of features and configurability, LibreOffice provides intuitive and easily accessible context menus, good template support, and a comprehensive range of settings for fine-tuning documents to your exact preferences. Regarding cross-compatibility, it offers solid support for Microsoft Office file formats. However, because it is built around the Open Document Format (ODF), files such as docx are converted internally when opened, which can occasionally lead to formatting problems, particularly in more complex documents. However, this is only really a problem if you frequently exchange editable documents with others, and we are going to touch on this problem later in the video anyway. LibreOffice is suited for anyone that wants a standalone Office suite on Linux, as long as cross-compatibility is not a major factor. While its user interface may not look as modern as many other suites, its support for desktop and icon themes, as well as many extensions and macros, still makes it the most complete open source Office suite on the market. OnlyOffice. OnlyOffice is the second major open source Office suite and is often recommended for its significantly better cross-compatibility with Microsoft Office. This is mainly because it uses the same OOXML format for its editors. Its user interface provides a polished and legible experience that closely resembles Microsoft's solution. Just like LibreOffice, it also includes solid template support and also offers a built-in PDF editor alongside its free core applications. However, while OnlyOffice does provide improved compatibility with Microsoft's file formats, since it does not require a conversion, it lacks in advanced context menus and customization options. Tasks such as creating styles are handled more indirectly, rather than through a dedicated menu. That being said, OnlyOffice remains a strong desktop Office suite, especially when exchanging documents with Microsoft Office is a priority. It also supports multi-user collaboration in certain cloud environments, and includes optional AI features, which can be completely disabled in the settings though. And for completion, I also want to mention Calligra at this point. Developed by the KDE community, it's a much more narrow Office suite that looks a bit dated and does not feature a tabbed view like Libre and OnlyOffice. But its biggest advantage is that it is quite lightweight. If you're looking for just basic editing, then this might be for you. Now let's move on to the proprietary Office suites. Programs that have native Linux ports, but just like Microsoft Office, are not open source. Let's start off with SoftMaker Office. Also using OOXML, SoftMaker Office is considered to be one of the best commercial alternatives to Microsoft Office. It is available for Windows, Mac and Linux, but also on mobile devices. Out of the box, it uses a tabbed view like Microsoft, offers fully fledged context menus to easily adjust styles and settings, ships with commonly used Microsoft fonts, and like mentioned earlier, because it uses OOXML in its editor, it has excellent compatibility to Microsoft Office formats. It comes with free programs for word editing, creating spreadsheets and presentations. Its appeal is of course its compatibility across all major operating systems, its general speed and document compatibility, as well as its German developers and GDPR compliancy, which could be relevant for select European companies. That being said though, unfortunately it is not free. While you can test it for 30 days, eventually you either need to opt for their subscription model or a perpetual license. However, SoftMaker does actually have another Office suite that is free. FreeOffice is kind of like a stripped down test version of SoftMaker Office. It looks almost identical, has the same good compatibility document-wise, but lacks the more advanced features that the full Office suite comes with. You can think of FreeOffice kind of like SoftMaker Office is the full version of Microsoft Office, and FreeOffice is more like the online version of it in terms of features. That being said, if its stripped-down features are still enough for you, then it's actually a solid choice to go with. Let's move on to WPS Office. This is a more controversial alternative, since it's basically a one-to-one clone of Microsoft Office, whereas the company that develops it is based in China. The idea behind this Office suite was of course independence, but still providing a familiar user interface, which means that if you're used to a Microsoft Office workflow, you will probably also find it here. The base version is entirely free, but could occasionally show some advertisements, especially towards the subscription and cloud service, which is also basically Microsoft 365. I mean, they even call it like that. So if you want an Office suite that is the closest to Microsoft Office, then WPS is the way to go. Though it does come with essentially the same proprietary aspects like MS Office, so, there's that. Now another alternative to get Office functionality on Linux, but also allow for collaborative editing, is of course to just use the web-based alternatives. Collabora Online is a fully fledged online Office suite based on LibreOffice, which means that unlike other online solutions like Google Workspace or Microsoft 365, you get full multi-user collaboration with all of LibreOffice's local features. The way it works is, you contact a trusted partner or are self-hosting it on a so-called Web Application Open Platform Interface Compatible Storage, short WOPI. This can be, for example, a Nextcloud instance, a local SharePoint server, or any storage really that supports it, and you're good to go. In addition, for local but single-user editing, Collabora does also offer their own standalone application, which is technically just LibreOffice, but configured with Collabora settings and additions to provide a seamless experience. If you were to ask me, what is the best Microsoft Office alternative on Linux that supports both local editing but also cloud support, then it would probably be this suite right here. I kind of already mentioned it before, but another Microsoft Office alternative on Linux is Google Workspace. Now some may laugh about this, but Google Workspace has actually some really interesting features that should not be neglected. While it is more constrained in terms of features, it is actually used by many big companies for collaboration. And this is actually the reason why Google has not made any effort to develop a local version yet. They just don't need to. Oh, and that reminds me. Many don't even know that it can actually be used offline as well. If you go to the Google Workspace settings, then under offline setting you can enable this functionality. For this to work, you need to install the Google Workspace offline extension, but once enabled, it kind of works like OneDrive, whereas local files are being synced to the cloud once available, while the Office parts are loaded via a progressive web app. So if you are already using Google Drive to store some documents, then this could be a completely valid choice for you. And while we are here, let's also talk about Microsoft 365. If you are someone that is always connected to the internet, the Microsoft Online Suite might also just be enough for you. It is really great for multi-user editing. However, it only works best if all users are using the online version. Since I discovered that just like LibreOffice can have issues with Microsoft Office files, ironically, so does Microsoft's online version as well. Its lack of many advanced features and just the fact that it uses some web-based format can often lead to formatting breakages. And unlike Google Workspaces, this Office suite is entirely cloud-based. If you are always online or you collaborate with others exclusively via the cloud version, then it is actually a really solid choice. However, with all of the mentioned limitations, of course. And this wraps up the choices on the Linux desktop. What I really like to know now is, which Office suite do you consider to be the best on Linux? Have you installed one? And if so, which one did you go with? Please let us know in the comment section down below. Just like always, if you want to support the channel, make even better videos, then please feel free to check out our membership program, as well as our online shop, whereas each sale helps to support various open source projects. If you've liked this video, then please make sure to show it with a like, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on any future Linux videos just like this one. I hope this video was helpful and that I will see you in the future. But in the meantime, all that's left to say now is good morning, good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are. I'll see you around.